I always was fascinated with handmade paper, so I decided to try and make it myself. How it turned out? Keep on watching. For handmade recycled paper, all kinds of paper can be used. Promotional magazines, bills, receipts, paper scraps, you name it. While using a lot of colored papers, you'll get a gray paper sheets. Using more white papers gives you a bit more control over color. I dyed one batch with a scrap of red paper, so it turned out pink. I tore all the papers into small pieces and let it sit for half an hour in a warm water. It helps the paper to break more easily while blending. Luckily, I had an old blender that was a bit broken and not suitable for food anymore. I do not recommend using your food processor for paper making unless all the paper you use is 100% ecological with no dyes and lead. For blending this amount of paper pulp, it took just a few pulses. Then I poured the pulp into a big bowl with water and blended it by hand. Then you need a mold to create your paper shape. Normally two-sided mold and decal is used for making paper, but I didn't have two identical frames, so I used only one simple photo frame. I covered it with a mesh fabric, like the one of the day curtains, and fixed it on the frame with a hot glue. So I dipped the frame right into the water, scooped some paper pulp to cover all the mesh, and shook it slightly so the paper pulp is spread more evenly. As I didn't have the decal, I simply scraped the pulp off the frame and left only what's on the mesh. After letting it drain for a moment, just place the frame with the pulp side down on the towel. Normally, this step is made with felt, but I didn't have one, so I used a towel covered with the same mesh fabric, though I don't know if it was necessary. Then I drained all the excess water with a sponge. When it stopped absorbing the water, I lifted the frame and carefully peeled off the edges of the paper. As you can see, my first attempt was pretty bad, but after some practice, the next batch turned out much better. So now just let it dry and voila, you have your own handmade paper. I love this project as all the small bits of paper that is normally going to waste can be used to create recycled paper. And this cycle can go on and on. That was my first attempt, but I just wanted to share it with you so when you are trying something new and fail, keep in mind that everyone makes mistakes and only practice leads us to great works. Happy crafting and thanks for watching!